As KTIV celebrates 70 years serving Siouxland, we're taking time to look back on some of the familiar faces that have brought you news, weather, and sports since the station signed on in 1954. But where are they now? Tonight, we catch up with a broadcaster who did news and weather in her 20-plus years with KTIV.
Hi, I'm Cathy Egan, and I worked at KTIV from 1987 to 2009. While at KTIV, I served as a reporter, a news anchor, and as the weather lady and host of Around Siouxland. The one thing that I will never forget about KTIV is the crash of Flight 232, reporting from the ground, keeping people informed of that tragic event. A funny event I remember was skiing down Signal Hill during a big snowstorm. I grabbed my skis and zoom, down the hill I went. Happy anniversary, KTIV. Here's to the first 70 years of serving Siouxland and many more to come.
Cathy, by the way, is now retired and lives in Bemidji, Minnesota with her husband, Bill.